Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. After a trial lasting more than 5 years, the leadership of Greece's neo-Nazi party has been convicted of running a criminal organisation. Big crowds gathered outside the court in Athens as the judges gave verdicts on 68 defendants. Golden Dawn won 18 MPs in 2012 as Greeks were battered by a financial crisis. The criminal inquiry into the party began with the murder of an anti-fascist rapper in 2013. Leader Nikos Mikaoliakos and 6 colleagues have been convicted of heading a criminal group, while supporter Georgios Roupalias has been found guilty of murdering an anti-racist musician. 15 others have been convicted of conspiracy in the case. COVID-19 has spread further among those around US President Donald Trump, with White House advisor Stephen Miller and a top military official both infected. Several military leaders have also been quarantining after Coast Guard official Admiral Charles Ray tested positive for the virus. Trump returned to work in the White House from hospital on Monday, despite being diagnosed with the disease only last week. Meanwhile, Democratic candidate Joe Biden has said Trump should not debate him if he is still infected.
I think if he still has COVID, we shouldn't have a debate. I think we're going to have to follow very strict guidelines. Too many people have been infected, and it's a very serious problem. And so I'll be guided by the guidelines of the Cleveland Clinic and what the docs say the right thing to do, if and when he shows up for debate.
Facebook has banned all accounts linked to the QAnon conspiracy theory movement from its platforms. The move is a significant escalation to Facebook's earlier decision to remove or restrict groups and accounts sharing and promoting QAnon material. QAnon is a conspiracy theory that says President Trump is waging a war against elite Satan-worshipping pedophiles. Facebook has begun removing content, but has said that this work will take time and will continue in the coming days and weeks. Kazakhstan's Prime Minister has resigned after widespread post-election protests, which plunged the country into political chaos. Kubatbek Boronov has now been replaced by Sadir Japarov, who protesters released from jail the day before. Opposition groups had earlier seized control of parliament, protesting election results they say were rigged. Facing mounting pressure, the country's electoral body has annulled the results of Sunday's parliamentary elections. A court in Kenya has found 2 men guilty of helping Islamist militants to attack an upmarket shopping mall in 2013. At least 67 people died in the assault by Al-Shabaab on the Westgate shopping complex in the capital Nairobi. The state said the 4 militants who carried out the attack were found dead in the shopping centre's rubble. The militants occupied the mall for 4 days in one of the deadliest attacks by Al-Shabaab in Kenya.
We've got 2 of the accused persons convicted out of the 4. So I think to that extent, we have to commend the magistrate for that and say it's justice for the people of Kenya and those who were affected by the Westgate attack.
Ethiopian celebrities and influential artists have started a movement calling for tougher sentences for sex offenders, following a rise in child abuse since the onset of the coronavirus pandemic. Actress Mekdace Tsege is the face of the new social movement called Zim Alelim, which means I will not be silenced. Zim Alelim has collected more than 50,000 signatures for a petition calling for stricter punishments for rape and sexual abuse. The Ethiopian government has said it recognises the problems and is working on initiatives to curb sexual violence and bring offenders to justice. September was the warmest month on record globally. That's according to a recent report by the weather service Copernicus. It was 0.05 Celsius hotter than September last year. Scientists have said it's a clear indication of temperatures being driven by emissions from human society. This year is also projected to become the warmest on record for Europe, even if temperatures cool somewhat from now on. The elevated heat globally has contributed to record wildfires in California and Australia. And finally, James Bond fans may have to wait until next year for the next 007 adventure, but next month, those with deep pockets can get their hands on some of the most famous items from the previous movies. The ivory-coloured bikini worn by Ursula Andress in Dr. No, the first Bond movie, is up for auction in Los Angeles with an estimated price of up to $500,000. The auction will take place online and in Los Angeles on November the 12th. The next Bond movie, No Time to Die, was last week pushed back from November to an April release in movie theatres. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.